and welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Welcome back in. I just opened up Experian. I said, why not check my credit score right now? Oh my gosh. I just had to activate a new credit card. I didn't have to. But I picked up this new credit card. I found it on the ground. No, I picked up this new credit card, and it's a car care card from Synchrony. So it's just meant for car stuff. So full disclosure, I applied for this card thinking that I would get, several $1,000s worth of credit so I could pay for this. I've mentioned the issue I have with my car where the heat exchanger on my Kia Niro is faulty, and it is a widespread problem, but not widespread enough so that they can do a recall. There is something you can do, a bypass that essentially is you take the heat exchanger out of the equation, you buy a 180-degree hose, you take off the hoses for the heat exchanger, put the hose on the engine where the coolant is coming out. The heat exchanger is supposed to heat up the coolant so it can heat up the engine faster, but now I'm just sending the coolant from the engine back to the engine. So it's going to take a little bit longer to heat up the engine. I did that, and that cost me $65 as opposed to paying what Anthem Auto and Buckhead wanted was $3,600 when I owed $2,000 on the car. I think now it's $2,000. At the time, it was like, $2,500, and then I paid $500. Been slowly paying off this car. And it's almost there, just almost there. So I'm so close to saving an extra $300 some odd dollars, $371.23 every month. Oh my gosh, paying this car with no job, for the past year, 2 years. Oh, fucking blew. We're almost there. We're almost to the promised land. Speaking of the car, this morning I have a very busy. It's Memorial Day weekend. I'm about to. I'm going away. I'm leaving the pets with a sitter. Someone's going to come over here into my house. She lives by Piedmont Park, and I was like, "You don't have to stay." But did I give her a schedule, especially for Saturday, where it's gonna be like she might as well be here all day. It's so funny. It's like you have to be here at 7:00 to take them out, and to take Maverick out and feed both of them. Then you've got to take Maverick out at noon, and then you've got to do this, and you got to do. But you don't have to stay. You don't have to stay. Oh my gosh. She's like, "Are you gonna leave your fob?" And I was like, "You can just call me." She goes, "You don't have to do that." I was like, "All right, that's fine." You're right. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, so I am. This morning I wake up, and I'll talk about this more on Late Night Lately, but I watched the final episode of The Late Show. It was very, I'm not kidding you. I was feeling very emotional, not even during like a sad part. It was during a funny part. There were no sad parts. They didn't laugh for that. But there's, I was just sitting there, and I think it was after the monologue watching Meanwhile, or he was interviewing Paul McCartney. But there was a moment where I was just like I had goosebumps on my body. I was like, this is the last time we're ever going to see this show. And it was very I felt very melancholy, and I did feel very sad about that. And listen, if you listen to Late Night Lately, as much as I lament watching Kimmel and Colbert, because they allow their audiences to applaud after them saying the word "the." It's a shame that this show had to go. Anyway, I am on a time crunch right now. Anyway, so I'm going away, and because of the issue with my car, my mother suggested, why don't I rent a car? And I said, that sounds like a lot of money. But I am now renting a car. I put in the reservation, and I'm renting the car, so I don't have to worry about that. But I this morning I leave the gym. I don't park in my I don't park in my regular spot, which really pissed me off. Somebody was parked in my spot, and then I parked in this other spot. I get home. There's a nail in my tire. The only time I discover it is I'm leaving. So I come home from the gym. I take Maverick on like a 40-minute walk so I can tire him out, and then I stretch, I shower and eat, and then I'm about to leave for the grocery store, and I feel lopsided in the car, and I'm going, what is going on? Like, I just got the oil changed, I just did this bypass, and I'm not kidding, no exaggeration, this car is running the best it's ever run since the day I picked it up 5 years ago. And I'm going down my garage, and then I stop by our dumpsters, and I get out and I look, and the nail is in the perfect spot for me to see it, and I go, shit, I have enough time. And again, thankfully, I have a job, because before I could never do something like this. Before I'd be like, well, I got to figure out how to fix this tire. And I go to my used tire place, and they get it fixed up within like 15 minutes, which is great. So I'm only 15 minutes off schedule. Then I head to Publix to get my BOGOs, my buy one, get ones. And then I head to Trader Joe's to knock out the rest of the groceries. And then I come home and I've unpacked everything. So what my plan is, because I want to leave today at 1 so I can get there at 5 and get into my Airbnb, which also cost a fuck ton of money, but it was also cheaper. I had a whole thing. All right, here, I'll talk about it. I went to Expedia. You hear about Expedia and Booking and Priceline and all that shit. You see all those commercials and you go, this will save you some money. And they do save you money. But the problem is you're at those chains, and Expedia and Priceline and Booking, they're giving you these prices that are not honored by the hotel, because you're basically using a coupon and you're saving some money. However, if you need to change anything, if you need to cancel, and that's it. If you need to do anything, you're shit out of luck. And I had to figure that out when I scheduled the wrong dates for my hotel. I scheduled next week because I thought Memorial Day was next week, and it's not. It's this week. So I put in the order for the Expedia. I got a hotel. It's 20 minutes outside of where the city to which I'm driving to. I'll say it's Savannah, Georgia. So I'm driving to Savannah from Atlanta, and it was 20 minutes outside, and then I'm not even kidding, like this is, I'm not even joking. Within 10 minutes, I'm looking at the reservation. I've already sent the money through, and I went, oh shit, it's the wrong dates. So I call the hotel. They're like, call Expedia. Expedia's like, we'll ask the hotel, but you might have to pay a fee. I went, great, I don't care. And then they're like, it's going to be like a $20 fee. I was like, great, I don't care, let's do it. Like 36 hours later, they call me back. They email me back. They say they're not going to honor it, and you're going to have to pay $328 in order to change the dates. And I went, that's crazy. And to shorten this up, over the following 4 days, it involved me getting angrier and angrier, calling Expedia, threatening them, and then eventually reporting them, because the issue is, they say, because the hotel says, because they locked in I was locked in at this cheaper rate, then it's all Expedia's thing. And then Expedia's like, we talked to the manager and they said they don't want to honor the dates and you have to pay these things. So anyway, it just involved me a lot of cursing on the phone, a lot of cursing, and then subsequent apologizing. Sorry, I called you a fuckhead. I didn't say that. Anyway, but they refunded me half the money, and then the other half will go on Expedia's whatever their thing. What's it called? They have like a rewards program. I have yet to receive that, but I did receive the money. The refunded half of the money. That was a whole frustrating thing. So anyway, now I have this car care credit card because I was not going to activate it at all. And then I activated it, and then I used it on the tire. Like, I used it within like 5 minutes of me seeing that there was an issue with the tire. I guess I have to activate this thing. I activated it and then use it on the tire. It worked because it's a credit card, and then I'll pay it off in like an hour or so. But it was thankfully it's only $55. Oh, also these tire places, and I've gone to this tire place a lot. Okay, I've been there. I've lived in this neighborhood for 8 or 9 years, and I have gone to that tire place. So it's a discount tire place, and it's not discount tire, but it is a discount used tire place, and I've gone there so much. They've gotten so much of my money. But every time they automatically add $10 into the charge to get rid of your tire for you. But I go to a recycling center every single week, and I went, I want to save that money. Give me that tire. They're like, what? I'm like, give me the tire. Give me the tire. Yeah, I spent like $55. I'm not spending $65. Then I proceeded to spend $120 on groceries. That's like every single week. It's so interesting, like so funny because when I was growing up, my mom would like spend like $40 a week on 4 people. And I just like, wow. And then I remember for the first time I was staying at my uncle and my aunt and my cousins. I was staying at their house in Macon when I was like, I don't know, a tween, over the summer for like, I don't know, like a week or so. And they went grocery shopping, and they spent $140 without even blinking. Like, yeah, here's the card. There you go. And I told my sister when my family came down to come pick me up and visit there, and I told my sister, I was like, can you believe it? They spent that much money on food? And she's like, what? That's crazy. And then I worked at Publix when I was in high school. After football, which is crazy. I would leave football, shower, and then go to a Publix that wasn't even near the high school. Not even the Publix that was near my high school. A Publix that was on the other side of the city of Roswell. It's near Centennial High School. And then I would work there for like 2 hours, and then come home, earn that $14 per hour. But anyway, when I was working at Publix, I would see people regularly without blinking spend $200 on food. And I'm just like, this is crazy. People are rich. And then ever since I've become an adult, I've been like, if I spend less than $100, then I don't know I'm like, wow, this is great. I guess I have a lot of food at home. All right, what else has been going on? Forza Horizon 6 is out. I'm having a good time. I think I'll talk more about that next week. And The Boys ended. You know what? If there's people that have issues with that final season of the show, I think it was fine. Read the comic. There's the comics can do, and I say the same thing about Invincible. If you don't like what's happening in the show, read the comic. And if you've read the comic, then understand that Eric Kripke did create this show. The people who made the comics did create this show, and they are a part of this show. They direct and they write. This is a different story, a different timeline, whatever. It's the same thing I feel about, like, there's a Watchmen crossover with the DC universe because it's the same imprint. Vertigo is not the same imprint, but Vertigo is owned by DC. Anyway, and Doomsday Clock, that's a different timeline. House of M on the Marvel side and Civil War, that stuff doesn't matter anymore because they want to align whatever is happening in the comics now with whatever's happening on the TV shows and movies. It's all different things. And who cares? Okay. It's just a different version. Invincible is so far different from what it was. Same thing with The Walking Dead. I think The Walking Dead might be the closest, although I don't necessarily know all of The Walking Dead. I know the ending and I know a lot of the middle and I know the beginning, but I've played the video games, the Telltale video games. I've read some of the comics and then I Wikipedia'd the other stuff, but it's all different. Who cares? The Boys was fine. All right, I really have to go to this wedding. Okay, so I'm trying to leave in 2 hours, and I have to pick up the car in 45 minutes, and then take Maverick out. So that's the whole thing. Okay. Let's get into these stories. I have to also record another podcast. I don't have to, but whatever. This comes from ESPN. I don't know why Get Up started. Written by Jeremy Fowler. NFL OKs up to 10 international games in 27. Teams can't protect games. Now, what's interesting about this protection thing is that the schedule, what I think is happening is the NFL will say, here's the preliminary schedule, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars can be like protecting this game as if it's a home game so that it won't be changed or anything. But we'll read this. Who cares? So this is up from 8 games. 10 games is good. I saw a headline this week or last week from who's the quarterback of the Cardinals, or who used to be the quarterback of the Cardinals. Anyway, he said that the international games are stupid and they feel like spectacle, and the NFL needs to get back to being like the NFL. But I think the thing is, with the NFL, they see that fandom is possible across the pond, and not just in Europe, but in Brazil, in Africa, in China. Like there's so many different continents where the NFL could reach in the same way that soccer and baseball have done. So from Peter O'Reilly, the executive vice president of club business, international, and league events for the NFL, he said there's a path to 10 international games in 2027. The league also voted to strip teams' ability to protect any home games from international play. So again, as I mentioned, if Jacksonville Jaguars were going, I should have chosen somebody else. If the Falcons were playing the Saints and an international game was going to become part of their home game, one of their home games, then they could be like, block. Previously, teams could protect 2 games. The 2026 slate features 9 international games, 8 league run games, and a London game as part of an agreement with the Jacksonville Jaguars and Wembley Stadium. Oh, cool. Playing that 9th game required NFLPA approval as collectively bargained. Oh, so everybody in the NFL had to, all the teams had to say yes. Now the league can play in the future. Now the league can in the future play. Come on, guys. The 10 games plus the Wembley game with NFLPA approval. This year's host sites are Melbourne, Australia, Rio de Janeiro, London, 3 games, Paris, Madrid, Munich, and Mexico City. The league is scouting future sites. Asian markets such as Japan, quote unquote, have complexities due to travel, but are important to the league, apparently, said O'Reilly. The league's growing international profile has led to questions about whether a Super Bowl will be played on foreign soil. O'Reilly said that's quote, not a front burner issue as of now. That'd be very interesting. The World Cup is, soccer's World Cup is played obviously around the world, and the final game is not in one area, like one stadium. Every single year, like in the same stadium, and the same thing is for the World Series in the what's that game? The World Series. Isn't that where everybody plays in baseball? What's the one where it's like Japan versus America? That would be very interesting to see if there is a stadium that can, like London. They're playing London 3 times, so I wonder if that is a possibility. Like if in 7 or 8 years they go, well, we played in Mercedes-Benz twice in the past 10 years, and we played in LA twice in the past couple of years, and we've exhausted all of these stadiums. Why not go to London? That game would have to be played at like 10 p.m. No, midnight, because it would start here at like 6 p.m. And that game would have to be at like 1 or 2 a.m., right? That's crazy. All right, let's move on. Speaking of sports, this one comes from Variety. I closed it. I'm going to close my Google Tasks. I don't need anybody seeing what I need to do. This comes from Variety, written by Brian Steinberg. Fox 1 streaming surprise. Sports fans appear to stay for Fox News. it feels like there's a bug on me. Sometimes I leave the patio door open, the balcony door open, so the animals. I'm sorry, something is spoiled for me from Ghosts, the season finale, and I don't know what's happening, but I keep seeing an actor's name and in these emails and on the side bar. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But sometimes I leave the balcony door open, and Maverick has, quite frankly, destroyed the. When Nova was alive and she was my only pet, I bought one of those door net things. And then when Maverick came along, he's literally just barging in and out, and he has destroyed it. The magnets don't work very much anymore. It keeps falling down, but I refuse to spend another $25 to buy another one. So sometimes if I'm doing yoga, I leave it open so Maverick and Luna can go outside, and it just stays open. It's ridiculous. All right. Now, Fox One, if you remember, is Fox Corp's streaming platform that incorporates their sports and their news. They used to just have what was that just like Fox Nation? Yeah, they used to just have Fox Nation. And then Fox One has become their catch-all. I believe I get free Fox One. I'm not going to watch it, but I do get free Fox One. Now, it turns out Fox executives have been surprised to see football fans stick around for a chance to check out Fox News Channel programs like Jesse Waters Primetime and The Five. During the company's recent fiscal third quarter, quote, over half of the viewership of Fox One, end quote, came from people watching news, said Lachlan Murdoch, Fox's CEO, on a call with investors. He added, we're really not seeing a tremendous amount of churn with Fox One to date, so we're very pleased with that. They have yet to release numbers, subscriber numbers on the service. Remember, it's still fairly new, and I'm guessing that they have the funds to keep those numbers under wraps. In the same way that Netflix and Hulu and the rest do that. I would guess and venture that people who were Fox adjacent, like they watch some Fox News, then maybe they watch CNN, maybe watch a little bit of Miss Now, and then people who just whose identities are sports. Like I only watch FS1 and FS2. I watch that Barstool show in the morning. I still call people slurs against gay people. I still use those. You can never ask a woman her age, but I don't want her to leave the kitchen. But I would guess that those are the people that are actively using Fox One, and they say, well, I'm here. I might as well go over and watch Jesse Waters. I might as well check out whatever new show is on Fox One. They do have shows. God, who is it? Who's the Blues brother? Belushi? It's not Belushi. The other one. Aykroyd. I believe Aykroyd has a show. Dan Aykroyd has a show. Let's just go to Fox One. Who cares? Fox One. $200 a year annually. Jesus. Okay, so on Fox One, you can also watch Fox Broadcasting, which is very important. There is a bug in here. I just hit myself. I definitely felt something on my arm. And again, I get free access because of YouTube. So there's your Fox News. You got Gutfeld. Somehow outlasted Colbert. You have First Things First, Wake Up Barstool. I knew there was a Barstool show. The Herd with Colin Cowherd. They have Fox Broadcasting shows. You can watch it anywhere, but let's see what shows they have to offer. Oh, and they have the World Cup. That's interesting. Okay. You watch The Floor, you watch Running Wild. But this is like, the problem is, I clicked on shows. If you're watching the video, you're seeing me scroll through this. And it's all stuff from Fox Broadcasting. Farmer Wants a Wife, a show I see commercials for and I will avoid with my life. news talk shows, Fox and Friends, The Five, Gutfeld, Animation Domination, Popular TV. See, a lot of this is Fox Broadcasting. All right, here's Fox Specials. Okay, that's just. I know there's Fox Nation shows. All right. Anyway, there's that. But that's my biggest. That's my biggest a theory and assumption. And we don't need to keep talking about this. I'm moving on. Finally, I have a text. My mom says, "Okay, sounds like a plan." I don't remember why I texted her. Oh, I texted her about the tire. This final one comes from the New York Times, and it's written by Alexandra Alter. I had two options. YouTube is crawling with pirated audiobooks made using AI. This is something I saw on the treadmill this morning. Remember, I wake up at 3. I wake up at 3 in the morning, and then I hit the treadmill before I go to the gym for a walk and then a run. I was watching what's it called? The Late Show. I was watching that final episode as I got ready to hit the treadmill, and then as I was stepping on the treadmill, while I was setting up the Peloton glasses, I was watching it, and I was scrolling through the New York Times as the Peloton class started, and I turned off the Late Show, and this is one of the first things I saw, and I went, of course, AI. People are stealing books with AI. Here's the thing. I have to admit this. A couple of weeks ago, I was perusing Facebook Marketplace, and somebody, I think I mentioned this last week, somebody put up seasons 1 through 17 of The Simpsons and season 20, as well as the movie, all on DVD on Facebook Marketplace for a hefty sum. I suggested a less hefty sum. We met about $20 after that, and I said, good. I went to go pick it up on Wednesday, and I came back, and everybody I've told about this, everybody I told about, in recent weeks, I've categorized or cataloged all of my digital and physical movies. I'm at 650. Hold on, I just added those seasons. So 17 seasons. Whatever 655 plus 17 is. Also, I just bought Space Ghost Coast to Coast. It was on sale for the entire series. I bought the entire series. It was on sale on Vudu for $15. So anyway, so I have, 18 plus, what is that? 672? 672, 673. So I have all that's digital, physical. And my plan is eventually, because I will never get rid of my DVDs. I've got stuff from the year 2000 and year 2001. Like, it's crazy. But my plan is to get a NAS server and to get a Blu-ray disc drive, a reader, so I can upload all that stuff to Plex or whatever. Which Plex is going to $700 for the lifetime thing. Jesus Christ! Plex is a digital server that it connects to your server, and it can relay that information onto a streaming platform that called Plex, and then you can access all the stuff that you own digitally via Plex, and it's wonderful and it's great. But it's gotten so expensive. Anyway. At any rate, I want to do my own NAS server so I can actually put, because C Plus Comedy's videos, all the podcasts, all the interviews are scattered around Google Drive and like three different hard drives. So I just want to put it all on like one 8 terabyte redundant drive. I will spend the money. I do not give a shit. I know it's going to cost me so much money. I do not give a shit. I will do it. But I want to get all of those Simpsons. And yes, I do subscribe to YouTube TV and Disney Plus, and I can watch The Simpsons whenever I want. But I want the commentaries. That's why I bought it. I bought the commentaries and all that stuff. Yeah. So anyway, but with streaming, and I think about this. I'm not kidding. Every single day, With streaming, you can pay the top tier $28 per month for Netflix or $29. With streaming, you can also not pay anything and go to Tubi and be able to watch a lot of great Warner Bros, Cartoon Network, HBO programming. You can meet in the middle and pay for Hulu and Disney Plus or Fox One or whatever you want, however you want to watch something. There's so many ways to watch TV and movies. There's so many ways to get music. And this is the part I think about literally every single day. There's so many. You can sign up for PlayStation Plus, for Nintendo Switch Online, and for Humble Choice and Xbox Game Pass. And you can get access on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo to probably collectively over 1,000 plus games, like thousands of games. And yes, it'll cost you monthly. You know, if you pay, I think it's like $20 per month now for PlayStation Plus $20 per month for Game Pass. And then Nintendo's is like 10, I think. But if Chad in 2005 had access to Game Pass, PlayStation Plus, and Nintendo Switch Online, I would have been like gobsmacked. I would have gone crazy. Like, wow, I can play all these things and have all this stuff, have access to all this stuff. So it doesn't make sense. And then there's a library. You can go to a library, check out books, check out DVDs, and with Hoopla, you can check out music and stuff like that because of your local library. But with this, and then YouTube. But with this, people are not even, they're just bypassing the library and stealing books, stealing audiobooks. It's fascinating to me that people would go to the length of just, for here, getting John Grisham's recent book, The Widow, and then saying, I'm just going to go to YouTube, type in The Widow audiobook and listen to it. Sure, he writes a book every single week. It's not him. I'll tell you that much from what I know. From a story I was told by somebody who wrote one of those books. Sure, he puts out a book all the time. But the thing is, you're taken from him. In the same way that if you're like, I'm not gonna buy this game, I want to test it out. I want to demo it. And instead of buying it on Steam for $20 or waiting for a sale, I'm just going to download a torrent of it, or downloading a torrent of a movie or a TV show. Just wait. Go to the movie. If you can't afford to go to the movie, you know how many times I've been like in my life, I can't afford to go to the movie theater right now. I'll just wait to buy the DVD or to watch it on streaming. Even my mom, I said it last week. She's not going to go see Devil Wears Prada 2 in theaters, and she'll just wait for it to come to streaming. I'd rather you do that. And I would love for anybody to go to the movie theater, but I'd rather you wait for it to go to streaming than to be like, I'm going to steal this, because you are taking it out of people's mouths. Oh, but steal from Jeff Bezos. I don't give a shit. So a free version of the book, The Widow, has more than 80,000 views with a barrage of complaints in the comments. Listeners were appalled by the emotionally flat robotic narration and confused by the discordant videos that played in the background. The scenes showing a waterfall, a family picnicking on a tropical beach, people snorkeling around a coral reef, and a man working in a rice paddy had nothing to do with Grisham's story of a small-town lawyer in rural Virginia who finds himself on trial for murder. But our bunch of comments are like, the AI voice is making it hard to follow. I don't like this, things of that nature. Audiobooks have soared in popularity in recent years, driven by widespread smartphone use and the consequent spike in audio streaming services, and they have become a critical revenue stream for publishers. I also in New York Times this morning, I read an article about Audible opening a physical store in New York, and people in their 20s are like, I just come in there and I want to work, and I was suggested an audiobook, and so I did my work with it, and then they have like lie down spaces and stuff like that. You know what I don't want to do is to lie down. That's disgusting. Again, we know I'm a germaphobe. A level 6, maybe a level 7. But I'm not lying down. So I'm not lying, not but. So I'm not lying down. That's the conjunction I want. At the same time, artificial intelligence programs have given pirates new tools to rapidly reproduce and to illegally profit from them by running advertisements. If you put up an entire, I just finished the audiobook for Airplane. It's like, surely you can't be serious. The audio biography of Airplane. It's a great audiobook. I listened to the audiobook most importantly because it was like Zucker. It was like the guys who created Airplane plus people like Bill Hader just all recounting what happened. It was not a podcast. It was an audiobook because they were definitely reading. But they had a lot of different voices. It was very fun. It was very good. But that was like 7 hours. So imagine people uploading a 7-hour video. And you already know that they put, on, I pay for YouTube Premium. But when, if I'm not logged in or if I go incognito and I'm looking something up on YouTube because I don't want YouTube to think, oh, he watches these videos. Like, no, I just need to look something up really quick. Oh, you like Theo Vaughn. Let me show you. No. I'm looking something up that somebody said. Anyway, or referenced. Anyway, but imagine like having a 7-hour video and then every 10 minutes there's an advertisement that plays. And this YouTube channel is not getting pinged for copyright infringement because they're using an AI voice to read this book. It's ridiculous. And then also note that when I do audiobooks for Audible, they tell us specific. This is so hypocritical of them because I fucking hate this. On Audible's platform, they say you cannot use like an AI replica of your voice, and then when I log in on the website, they go, why don't you let us create an AI replica for your voice? And I'm like, no. It's so funny. They're like, you cannot use that. But why don't we you want to just let us do it? It's ridiculous. Grisham said YouTube should bear some responsibility for the spread of illegally copied audiobooks on its site. In an email to the Times, he wrote, "The thieves and pirates who steal my work and try to profit from it in any format should be punished civilly and criminally. And in this particular example," you know what? This would make a great John Grisham novel. I'm not kidding. And John, if you're watching, I'll write it for you, baby. And in this particular example, YouTube is complicit because it's clear they know what is happening and refuse to stop it. Oh, John, there's a picture of John Grisham. He is a lot younger than I thought he would be. Interesting. How he writes books is so interesting to me. It's just so interesting. When I don't know if I've mentioned this, but when someone I know, her husband used to work with Grisham, and then this isn't the full story, but one day he was working, and I think Grisham called him into the office, and he's like, "Hey, let's write this book." He's like, "All right, you write it." Grisham was like, "You write it," and then he wrote the book. And I think John, just did some cleanup and stuff like that. But that's such a fun thing to do. That's why he's got hundreds of books, because he goes and talks to these other writers, and he's like, "Why don't you write it?" Get somebody. I think it's like essentially a version of ghostwriting. A YouTube representative told the Times that no copyright infringement claims have been made to the company against that video containing the widow. The representative suggested that publishers are ultimately responsible for dealing with copyright infringement on the platform by flagging it to YouTube, explaining that the company is not in a position to determine whether users have or have not received permission from rights holders to upload certain content. But then how come, people... So I'm guessing this is why some people can upload, because it's not everybody, but some people can upload highlights of, let's say, the Cavaliers versus the Knicks. Like, someone can do that, maybe because they're commentating on it, or maybe because they're truncating plays. I don't know. But then I know there's been episodes of News Time, for instance, that I've done. News Time is basically my Last Week Tonight or daily show. I did it before Last Week Tonight. And I did an episode where I had Bluey on in the background, and it was immediately taken down, like within seconds of me uploading that episode. Then I had to blur everything out on the TV. Illegal audiobooks have also, wow, it was hot. Illegal audiobooks have turned up on the platforms where pirates sometimes disguise them as podcasts by breaking them into chapters. But publishers say YouTube presents the biggest challenge because the platform is so massive and because YouTube has little incentive to fix the problem, unlike platforms like Apple Books and Spotify, which have financial arrangements with publishers to license or sell their content. Wow. Yeah, it's a big issue, especially given that, again, things are so easily accessible now that if you really wanted to, there's a way to get a book without paying for it and legally. You could sign up for Audible. They send out free emails all the time. Hey, come back. Get this month and get a free credit, and then you can pay $15 after that, or $8 after that now, because I believe they have a standard version where you only paid $8, but I don't think you get the credit. And then, on YouTube, there are so many blue check mark channels that upload shows. Cartoon Network uploads old episodes of Dexter's Lab and other shows. I can't think of it. Ed, Edd n Eddy. Disney's channel uploads episodes of, Gravity Falls or Star versus the Power of Evil. Is that what it's called? Star versus the Power of Evil? Forces of Evil. That's what it's called. I just don't. I get it. I understand why people are doing this, but there's now in the year 2026, there's just so many different ways. I got Leanne Moriarty's latest book on Audible because Audible asked me back. And then at the same time, last year when Lorne came out from Susan Morrison, I just ended up buying it. Also because I like Lorne Michaels, even though I do think he's gotten a little feckless in the past couple of years. I just used a word I don't think I've ever used. Oh, okay. Yeah, that works. Feckless. Look at me. All right, that's it. I really do have to go. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk to famous people sometimes. I don't have anything out right now, but at some point I will in the next couple of days. But you can see almost all of the interviews I've ever done, either written or in video or in both. If you want to see a video version of this show, head to youtube.com/cpluscomedy, where you can see a video version of the other podcasts. LinkedIn Logs, the Jobs and Business News podcast, and Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show. This week's episode will cover just Stephen Colbert. And Saturday Night Live UK. I forgot about that. Okay, if you want to see the interviews, follow youtube.com/cpluscomedy. Subscribe to the shows or your podcast. Follow us on social media at cpluscomedy on YouTube, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Instagram. Me on those platforms at Chad Black White. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time. This is it. Bye.